So let me just say, when we say growth, it may mean different things for different types of businesses. We're sort of laboring under the assumption that growth is good. And let me just say that for some organizations, it's not growth is good, but making sure that we could do our best for our clientele, etc. But the one thing for sure is that if we just keep static, there'll be a degradation that we want to avoid. So when I talk about growth, if you're thinking about, well, I'm not so sure I really want to grow, etc., think about what the ideas that we talk about today, and of course the answers to your questions, and I suspect you'll find something in it. So I think there's one of the things that's most important is to understand there's no cheat code, if you will, to growth. I guess there's a few we could talk about them, but sometimes what's limiting growth is uh, barriers. And the barriers could be, marketing, the wrong mix, or it's an untrusted brand, or maybe sales and business development. You're not doing things the way what your clientele actually need today, or maybe it's the service or product. It's wrong or it's out of date. It's not as relevant as it once was. If we think about the impact of AI, just as an example, or disruption, which I'll talk about later. These are the kinds of things that, you know, the you haven't changed, but the ground has shifted underneath you. It may be poor systems or technology, CRM or delivery, ERP, whatever technology that you actually use. That might be limiting the growth, or it could be out of date or stretched processes. Let's just say you've grown to a certain extent, and as a result of that, the processes underneath, in terms of everything from marketing, delivery, technology, people, everything, are a bit out of date and they need to be flexed or swapped out for something new. Or it could be that there's some market disruption. I mentioned AI before, a SaaS platform, or new competitors from different geographies or excuse me, different sectors who are sort of coming into your particular space. Or, and this is the toughest one, it may be the people. And it might actually be you. Okay, so the question is the people that get you, pardon me, that got you here to this particular point, are those the ones that can get you to the next level? Here's an example. I've sat on corporate boards for many, 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 many years. And last year I was one of the corporate boards who went public, right? And so it was an interesting thing. So now I'm a director on a public board, which is a fascinating experience, new challenges and everything. However, here's a question. When you start your business, is the bookkeeper and accountant who understands that, are they right for that new state of where you are right now? In the public company example, guess what? There's a big difference between being the head of finance and accounting for a public company versus a private one. That's a very big example, but still, the people, are they rightly skilled? Are you investing in them to grow them to that next level, or are they the boat anchor that is keeping you to get the next level? And finally, intellectual property, IP. Do you have things that uniquely you own? Okay, whether they're patented or trademarked or what, but stuff that you own that differentiates you. At the Brain Trust, we've got what, about 1,100 resources, articles, videos, tools, templates, etc. That's IP. It's very hard for others to say, oh, by the way, we've got the expertise if they don't have the IP. So all of these different blockers, if you will, are things that can get in the way of actually growth. So part of the business growth hacking lab is to hack away at some of these ones and actually say, well, what can we do to do better, or to ask the right questions to do it? The other part of it is to say, well, you know what? Um, Once we get rid of the things that are keeping us down, what are the things that we can do to power us up now that we've cleared the way, right? So um, we no longer have the brakes going on. The brakes are off. Where's the accelerator pedal? And what are the things we can do? So that's kind of where I like to frame the day, the conversation, and get questions from the group and try and answer them. I've got a whole bunch of other ideas. Hopefully they'll come up in the questions. The time really is yours, and let's see what we got.